Well, hey everybody, Dr. Carr here with Barbershop Talk. We want to thank you for joining episode 2, 2026. We want to welcome you to International Styles and Cuts here in Wichita, North Carolina in the Food Line Plaza. We want to thank all of the patrons who are watching. Like and share, please like and share. We want to thank each one of the barbers, each one of the individual contractors that are here. We want to thank Brother Greg Sturgeon and all of the people that are participating on the panel today. So what we're going to do is we're going to have an open conversation. On last week, the first one of 2026, people asked a lot of good questions, and so what we're going to do today is we're going to answer some of those questions, and you'll get to hear answers from each one of the fellas on what they think. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to go around the room and we're going to let everybody introduce themselves to you. For if you only seen them for the first time, so be it. Welcome them. If they are regular and you know who they are, welcome them. We're going to start right here with my brother right here.
My name is Tori. I work at International Styles and Cuts.
I'm Dr. Carr. You know me.
I'm Eric Fuller at International Styles and Cuts.
My name is Bless from Whistler, North Carolina. Greg Surgeon, work here at International Styles. Owner? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I mean, we're all owners. We share the lead.
I'm Robert. I've been here before.
I'm Don. It's my first time here, but I'm from Burlington, North Carolina.
Welcome, Don.
Welcome, Don.
Thank you.
I'm Howard. I'm off the street.
He said, so we want to thank each one of these brothers who thought enough of what we're trying to do to come out and say. So I just wanted to address Mike right now. It was question number 4. So we're just going to hit the ground running. Mike asked the question, if I keep failing the people I love, am I broken or just undisciplined? And how do I know the difference? Okay, so right there's a lot of things that Mike is asking. So I'm just going to start it off, and then we're going to, whoever wants to go next can go next. We can start with Tori. We can go around. It's just whatever, however you feel like you want to interject. We'll do it. We'll be respectful of one another. But we're going to try to make sure that we get both of these questions out of the way, and we're going to let it be. What I said, this is just my thoughts, Mike. I hope this helps. I hope this points you in the right direction. Failing the people you love doesn't automatically mean that you're broken. Scripture distinguishes the inner brokenness from a lack of discipline, and brokenness is about the heart needing healing. So if there's something in you that needs to be healed, we'll talk about that. Scripture also tells us over in Psalms, and we'll go to that scripture, the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. If you are an unbeliever or you're not a believer, that might not mean nothing to you. So we'll talk about that too. Being undisciplined means being undisciplined. You know the right thing to do, you just decided you're not going to do it for whatever the reasons are. Failing isn't the issue. I mean, failing is part of what we do in life in order to grow. Staying in a condition where you don't grow is more of an issue than failing, because we're going to fail at some things. When you refuse to be corrected, and when you refuse to address those issues that you have, there's going to be collateral damage inside the family unit. If you as a man are leading your family and you fail, I mean, you just failed. It causes you to grow, but you got to learn from that and you got to grow from that. So if you constantly repeat failures and have relapses and go over that, then there's something that we got to get to figure out what's making you constantly go back and forth between your failings and not growing and not learning anything. So that's where I want to start at. Anybody want to add anything? Y'all can just go ahead.
I guess to me, to try to figure out what the failing is. I mean, because failing can mean different things to different people.
Yeah.
You may be failing because you might not have enough capital.
Yeah.
That may be a failure. So to me, to kind of answer that question without knowing how you're failing someone, are you failing because you're not being faithful? So in my mind, to answer a question like that is too broad.
Yeah.
If we could narrow it down to what specifically are we failing?
Yeah.
Because you could be failing by not pursuing someone else's happiness. I mean, there's a number of things that you can fail in.
Yeah.
According to someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like you said, if you're going to put a scripture connotation in there, then there are guidelines what are failing and what are not failing. So that's where I'm at with that question, because to me it's too broad to try to answer.
You know, and I get where you're going, and I think that what we can do is we can come from where we are and how it resonates with us, and maybe how it resonates with one of us might resonate with him, because like you said, it's broad. I mean, we don't have any in details. You know, he just asked a question about failing, so we don't know what failing looks like. I mean, he could not be, as you said, being a good steward of his finances. He could not be being a good steward of his chastity or his relationship skills. He could be stepping out. He could be doing a lot of things that I don't want to assume, but he said failing. And
Right.
failure is going to look different to each individual. So what does he constitute as being a failure? You know what I'm saying?
That's deep.
Yeah.
It do depend on expectations and what they doing, cause it could be somebody on addicted to something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know
Yeah,
how the
yeah.
family get on them, talk about them, stuff like that. So they talk about stuff too. You know, like they don't meet their family's expectations. So it could be anything, man. You don't know. So like you say, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's broad.
Yeah. I mean, you know, bless.
I don't know, Rich. I don't know. That is a
Yeah.
tough topic. That's a tough topic.
And see, when we real with people, we gotta tell them we might not have an answer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes we're not gonna have an answer. I mean, okay, if a person is a believer, depending upon what he believes in, there will be an answer based on his belief system.
True.
If he says that he's a follower of Christ, we got an answer. But he didn't say whether he's a follower of Christ. We got a foundation that we can stick to, but we don't know if that's where he's at because he didn't say.
But you also said something too, like sometimes you can tell a person something over and over, but they continue to do the bullshit. So
Absolutely.
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Hey, it's on them to make a change too. So
I'd say too, I mean, if you're failing your own standards, standards that you, not somebody else, like
Right.
Robert was saying, like
Right.
you have these standards for yourself. And you gotta, at some point say, okay, I need help.
Right.
And then finding some accountability of somebody who you can maybe demonstrate already went through that.
Okay.
Say, bruh, give me a helping hand.
Right.
Give me some steps. And you also, when you ask that, when the brother get in the situation, you gotta listen to what he says, like you just said. If you ask for help, and then the brother trying to give you the right stuff, and you don't do it, you're gonna be still in the same spot. But I think that's the next step. If you fail in your own standards, then you gotta go in and find somebody else to.
Okay, so now you're cracking it open. I heard Tori say something. Now watch this. It's deep. Watch this. But if you're a believer, James 1:22 says, not to be a hearer of the word only, but a doer of what you hear, thus deceiving yourself. So you could be in the position because you are hearing the word and you're not doing nothing. You're doing the same thing over and over and over and over. You're going to get the same results over and over and over and over. And then the word says, if we want to apply that, it says you deceive yourself. So it's not as if that I'm deceiving you or you deceiving you. You're deceiving yourself because you're not doing what you heard to do that's right. Because every individual knows a level of right and wrong. What that level is going to be based on where that person grew up at and what that person knows. So we have to honor that. We have to make sure that we recognize it. Yeah, Tori, man, it could be tough.
It's like you gotta look yourself in the mirror and just like, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Listen, I wholeheartedly agree. But when you don't like what you see,
Oh man.
when you don't like what you see, you know, we got a tendency to self-medicate. We got a tendency to drink. We got a tendency to smoke it out, drink it out, sex it out. We got a tendency to do something because we don't like what we see. I will tell you, I can guarantee you there's not a man up here that has ever felt the weight of the world.
The weight of the what?
The weight of the world
Oh yeah, definitely.
on your shoulders. You know, what it feel like inside of a situation that you ain't got all of the answers for. And sometimes, you know, we doing the best we can with all we got, but sometimes, you know, because our relationships have not been nurtured in the church in a lot of instances, or daddies weren't there in a lot of instances, and mamas was there doing the best that they could. There are just so many different variables, man. So we got to understand and know that there are a lot of brothers out there who had these same questions, man. And I want to thank Mike for his question. And I'm interested in hearing what you got to say, Greg. What are your thoughts on that? I mean,
Well, you know, it's kind of bad where you know that a lot of people don't want to hear the truth. Well, your truth anyway.
right.
So at the end of the day, man, it's like I feel like I don't think you failed. I mean, you just got to know within yourself,
Mhm.
like who you are and what you believe in.
Mhm.
You feel like it's the right thing, it's the right thing, good or bad.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so at the end of the day, man, you know, you'll recognize with people that a lot of times that 9 times out of 10 when you talking to someone and you just like you know what I'm saying, I know you had instances where you try to preach the word of God and the first thing they say is, I don't want to hear that.
That's correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, at the end of the day, you can't let yourself get down because they don't believe what you believe in. So, I mean, we ain't been to the other side.
Mm.
So, you know, just because what you think is right is right. I mean, I totally believe in what you believe in. But, I mean, I think failure is when you ain't getting nowhere.
Mm.
When you're not getting anywhere, then you're failing. So, I mean, why not try? Why not try to do something else and make your life better?
Okay, so shouldn't failure, if we all recognize failure as meaning that something ain't going the way we wanted to go, or we disappointed somebody or let somebody down, or we had a high expectation and it didn't come out the way we thought it would, shouldn't that failure or shouldn't that act lead us to wanting to do something to change our situation? Shouldn't it?
Most definitely.
And when it doesn't, don't we call that failure? Okay, the last thing that I want to do, when my grandmother was living, and she's not,
Okay, I'll call you back in a minute.
the last thing I wanted to do was disappoint my grandma. The last thing I wanted to do was disappoint my granddad. Now, I had a mama and daddy, but who did I spend more time with? My grandparents. And the last thing that I wanted to do was disappoint them. I didn't want to fail in their eyes. But I watched some of my uncles fail in their eyes. And so I had patterns of behavior that I would say to myself, the standard that I set for myself, I didn't want to go through that. But lifing, choices, me being me doing what I do. I'm not going to tell y'all, I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all like I dotted every I and crossed every T, because I didn't. So I failed. I failed in a lot of areas. I failed in my own expectations. I failed those who were dependent on me. I failed myself because I wanted better for myself, but I didn't know how to get better for myself. You understand what I'm saying? I know I wanted better for myself, but I didn't know how to get better for myself. So what I tried to do was, I tried to, Old English 800 it away. You know, I tried to get up in the trees and smoke it away. You know, I tried to run every girl that I could run and girl it away. And at the end of the day, none of that stuff helped me get where I wanted. It helped me in the moment. But there was a day, Tori, I'm going to tell you, I had to stand in the mirror and I had to see myself. Well, okay, so at the end of the day, for believers, that's called repentance. That's called, you got to a place where you, my man say, broken and failing. You got to a place where you can't see your way out with nothing that you do. So maybe now try something else. Maybe now it's time to try something else. And that's something else that I tried. Might not be something else that somebody else has tried. That's something else that I tried. Came from the church and from the Bible, from my foundation there.
It'll work for you.
That worked for me. And it has been working for me. And so since it's been working for me, it's been proven to work for others. I want other people to come along, but I want them to come along willingly. But I want them to know that by no stretch of the imagination did I get there on my own. You know, there was a standard that I had to meet. There were some things in me that I had to change. Tora brought it out, said it eloquently. I had to stand in the mirror and look at me. You know what I'm saying?
So once you figure out, okay, say for instance, you sitting there and you feel like you failed at something.
Yeah.
Then you turn around and you resurface and you feel like you're moving ahead. It's not in the back of your mind that I need to go back and fix this or what I failed at, because nobody wants to be a failure.
So let me ask you a question. And this is not being funny and this is not shaming, but what can you go back and fix today that you broke yesterday? Nothing.
You gotta look at what's in front of you.
Right.
Not what's in the rearview mirror.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you spend so much time trying to fix stuff back there. Well, what about this stuff today?
Not me personally.
No. I'm
asking
just
a question.
yeah, but I'm just saying. I'm trying to answer. So what I learned how to do is I learned how to focus on right now. I understand that yesterday is gone. Yesterday is history. Yesterday is a part of history. Yesterday is a part of my memory. Ain't nothing that I can do today to go back and undo. Now, if I broke a glass yesterday or a vase, I could glue it together today. That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about there's nothing in my past that I can go back and fix. So I got to focus on where I am right now. Now, when we look at the foundation of what Scripture might tell us, we got somebody that can handle all of that stuff for us, but we got to be willing to address that right now where we're at. You know, we got to look at ourselves right now where we're at in this moment. There are a lot of people who just don't spend enough time on things that are going to benefit them because we like shortcuts. We like to get there quick, man. Listen, I ain't got time to read that Bible. I ain't got time to sit up in the church and listen to this man that's gonna lie to me or gonna do this or that to me, because we all got these different notions about what is. So but what are you doing? What are you, the individual, doing to make it better for you? Tori, what are you doing to make it better for you when life start lifing on you? What do you do? Other than looking at yourself in the mirror, what do you do?
I pray.
We got brothers that don't pray. Don't know how to pray.
I agree with you.
But
See,
we
the
got,
thing is, I don't think, what do you mean by not knowing how to pray?
they don't know how to pray. They've never learned how to pray. We're living in a culture now of kids that don't go to church, man. They don't go to church. We'll get there. They don't go to church. They're not introduced to church. They weren't raised in church. They don't want no parts of it.
I've always thought that, you know, I may not pray like they pray at church, but you know, I feel like sometimes I've had moments where I just sit there. Now, do you consider this prayer is what I'm asking? Like when you just sit there and say, God, help me out of this thing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Please and all that. I consider that prayer. And when you take a moment to yourself and just sit there, and I mean, you don't have to start off with what was the thing that we used to say when we was little, when we get inside the bed? Yeah,
Our Father, Lord in heaven, hallowed be thy
I mean,
name.
prayer is prayer. Asking for help is asking for help, and I think that's what prayer is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But okay. So Howard, I need you to help me change my tie. Did I just pray?
No.
Asking for help is just asking for help. Prayer is prayer. Prayer is central to you looking for divine intervention. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Asking for help is just asking for help.
Okay.
I just asked him to help me change my tie.
Right.
That ain't praying.
Amen.
Prayer is a focus
no.
on.
No. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. No. I'm not sitting here asking for something for God.
I understand that, but you said prayer.
Right.
And you said, what is prayer? The essence of prayer is recognizing that you need help from a source that is divine. Because if I'm asking him for help, I'm just asking him for help.
Okay.
You understand where I'm coming from?
Right.
So if I need help from an outside source, Tori, correct me. If you say prayer, who you praying to?
God. I'm saying, maybe you got me confused.
Okay.
And maybe the thing is that what I'm saying to you is like, okay, prayer. We was taught as kids to get down beside the bed and you know, say what we had to say. But I'm saying, is it any different than when you sitting there and you, like say if you going through something, like say if you got the flu or something like that, is prayer any different than you be like, God, please help me out? You don't consider that prayer?
Robert.
I was waiting on that, simply because
There you go.
there's levels of relationships with God.
Right.
Right. And like you said, if someone doesn't have a relationship at all Lord help me.
Right.
That was his prayer.
Right. Who was he praying
He
to?
was praying to God.
That's right.
All right, but there isn't any eloquent words that you have to say. It's on the level of where you know God. If you don't know God very well, just a simple, Lord, help me understand this. Or Lord, please give me guidance in this.
Yeah.
And so, on that level, God accepts those prayers.
Absolutely.
But you also have to know that God reads the heart.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you look at, I'm just going to give you some, whether you read the Bible or not, I'm just going to give you some place to go look.
Yeah, yeah.
In Hebrews chapter 5, 8 through 12, God says, there's a lot of you sitting here that's on milk that should be on meat. So he's knowing who he's talking to.
Right.
And then if you go over in Matthew, when he's feeding the 5,000, he says very clearly, some of you are just here to eat.
Yeah.
So when you dart up that communication to the higher power of God, then he knows your heart. He knows if you're asking for something just because you're in a tight situation, but as soon as, if he relieves you from that situation, then you're going right back
To what you were doing.
to what you were doing.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Okay, so now watch this now. The relationship that you're talking about that we think that we got. Okay, if we think that we got a relationship with whoever we got a relationship with, it has standards. It has rules that we have to follow. Whatever, whether it's a relationship with our significant other, whether it's a relationship with our children, our mothers, our parents, there's a level of respect, there's a level of knowing, there's a level of doing what is required of us. When we don't do that, it makes, I believe that I failed my family in some instances with some things that I didn't do in a timely fashion.
Right.
When I was out there wilding out.
Right.
When I was messing over the money. You know?
Right.
When I wasn't, leading the home. I was worried about my flesh being taken care of.
Right.
I failed them. I failed them miserably. And it wasn't until I got into my early 30s that I started saying, hey, Tori, looking at myself, hey, maybe, just maybe, the problem ain't somebody else. Maybe, just maybe, the problem is me.
Right.
Maybe I got to really get in front of that mirror and say, hey, what am I doing? Okay, so now when I get my paycheck, I got to know that I can't go buy no bags. I got to know that I can't go buy no 2 cases of beer. I know that the light bill due, the mortgage due, the car payment due, the internet due. I can't put a little bit on it. I got the money to pay for it. Why don't I go ahead and just pay for it? You know why I didn't pay for it? Because I was thinking about me. It was something that I saw I wanted. I wanted to do something. And a lot of times I believe that I failed my family in those areas. And it wasn't until I started really looking at myself, Tori, and being real with myself and say, hey man, my grandmother would be real disappointed in me if she was to see me right now. And so that's what drives me to not want to be a failure. So Mike, maybe we've said something that's helped. I don't know. You gave us a real tough question. Everybody tried to do their best on it. And what I would say to you, most of the other brothers said, is do the best you can until you can do better.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So anytime you communicate with God, you don't consider that a prayer?
Well, sometimes I'm meditating with the Lord, and meditation is not prayer. So my communication with the Lord, if I'm praying to Him, it's going to have to be something where I have expectation. I'm seeking Him for something. Because if I'm going to the Lord, I have to wait until He responds.
Exactly.
And every time I go to the Lord, I'm not going to the Lord in prayer. I'm
Exactly.
going to the Lord sometimes to commune with Him.
Or just to thank
Or just to thank Him, or
Exactly.
just to praise Him.
So that's not considered. So what I'm confused with
Sure.
is that if I just say thank you to the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
or if I say, hey, I'm in a situation, I just need, I just need to get out of this, Father God, just let me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want some clarity because
Sure.
I want to listen because I love what you're saying.
Sure.
So is communicating with Him
Mm-hmm.
prayer, or sometimes just talking? Prayer, does prayer and communicating have two different definitions?
Okay, so let's look at it like this. Let's look at it on the natural plane,
Okay,
and let's look at it on the spiritual plane.
gotcha.
Okay, Howard said something. God is a discerner of the heart.
Yes, sir.
He knows the intent, so he knows what we're thinking.
Already.
He knows where we're going.
Already.
We don't know where we're going or what we're thinking. So there are times when we don't know how to pray, Scripture says.
Exactly.
So the Spirit makes intercession for us.
Mm-hmm.
So every time we go to the Lord, we don't know what to say or how to say it. So the Spirit makes intercession. So whenever I'm going to spend time with the Lord, because I'm a believer, now we're talking about believers. We're not talking about unbelievers. If I'm a believer and I'm going to the Lord, I'm saying, okay, Lord, what do you have for me today? That ain't prayer. Lord, order my steps today. Lord, I need for you to give me direction on today. That's me submitting my will to the Lord for the day. Lord, I ask you, you said the footsteps of a righteous man are ordered. What do you want for me to do today? That's a conversation that I'm having with the Lord about him giving me direction. Now, prayer is interceding on behalf of others, lifting others up, praying for the condition of the world or situations based on somebody else. A specific need. I have individuals who are dealing with stage 4 cancer or stage 2 cancer. I'm going to intercede for them. I'm going to undergird them, and I'm going to lift them in prayer. I'm going to stand in agreement with them on what they're saying. But everybody don't have a relationship with God, so we're not talking that same talk to everybody. So
Prayer is
sometimes
something specific.
specific.
So
You're right.
the only reason I'm saying is
Sure.
because a lot of people think it's something else, but
Yeah.
it has to be specific in your prayer.
Correct.
Father God, pray for my lung.
That's right.
Pray for my hand.
That's right.
Or pray not just
A generic.
Exactly.
Yeah. So everything with God is about us following a pattern that he's already established for us. And for us realigning with that. So if we take Mike for an example, he asked a very poignant question. Mike's question was, if I keep failing people, I love, am I broken? I don't know whether you're broken or not, Mike. You might have broken some of the rules and regulations, but that don't mean you're broken. It means you broke some rules and regulations.
Situation.
Brokenness is a spiritual thing. That's in your heart. Or just undisciplined. Now, well, wait a minute now. So he already recognizes that there's a level of discipline that he's supposed to have. So if he's saying, am I broken or am I just undisciplined? Well, okay, who ain't been undisciplined before?
That's all of it.
That's all of it.
I don't guess nobody in here.
Well, I've been pretty good since.
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
shit.
Here we go. Don't get that. If the lightning doing anybody.
I did when I was born. My mama spanked me. And I said, hey, they say you should honor their mother's father, but I was mad at her this day.
I ain't mad at you.
I'm just playing. Man.
Yeah, but undisciplined is undisciplined. Undisciplined means that we have to recognize that there's a standard of discipline. To be undisciplined, we gotta recognize that there's a standard of discipline.
People don't know what the standards are now. That's the problem.
Well,
I think.
okay, so
A
that's
lot
what.
of people don't know what standards
Well,
are.
so that's what we're doing right here.
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
Everybody got their own
that's right.
standards, they have their own, they apply to everybody else, they put their standards on you. And that's why I say, what's the expectations, cause I can't meet your expectations,
Yeah.
dawg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody asked me like, well, what about the people that come out of prison and do this? I can't meet their expectations.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened before they left, when they come back. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their expectations.
So when you come to my house, it says rules don't apply. And in my house, rules don't apply. Your rules don't apply here. Rule number 2, refer back to rule number 1.
You understand me?
That's so my standards might be completely different than everybody else's standards. But see, I walked into this
Yeah.
blind.
Yeah.
And what I did was it made me lose my breath a little bit because I like doing stuff because it's all men.
Right.
Because we the pillars.
That was supposed to be. Now, when
Supposed to be.
you said rules don't apply. Now, watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Rules do apply
Mm-hmm.
if you apply.
Mm-hmm.
Rules don't apply if you don't apply. We have a standard that applies if we will apply the standard. The standard don't mean nothing if we don't follow the standard. So what is the standard? Okay, E said, everybody set their own standard. Everybody got their own idea. Robert will tell you that there's a standard.
There is a standard.
Tell them what the standard is, Robert.
God laid out the standard because he's the creator. I mean, it's the simple fact of that. I mean, we can all of us can jump in our vehicles right now. And there is a highway speed limit out there. Now, whether you believe in them or not is up to you.
That's right.
Now, when that cop get behind you and throw them lights on,
Woo woo.
now the standards apply.
Right.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Okay.
See?
See, the standards want, okay, he said, watch this, the expectation. Okay, and I used as an analogy my grandma. My expectation was to not disappoint my grandma. And that's what drove me. I don't know what's driving the individual. I don't know
My
what's
daddy said, don't mess my name up.
Oh,
That's
what?
what my daddy said.
Yeah.
And I live not to mess his name
Yeah.
You gotta know who you're dealing with. Like,
Yeah.
let's say your homeboy, you know he's still, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when he come in your house, what do you do with your stuff?
Well, first off, if I know he's still, he ain't coming in.
Yeah.
No, because I understand.
So you can let him in, but you have to accept if he's a thief, if something missing, then he's a thief. Don't get mad if he steals something, but you let him in your house.
You already knew.
Look,
You already know he's a thief.
Look,
See how this
If
is
something's
so-
missing,
You got expectations, he got expectations.
right. I
His
always,
expectation is, I ain't letting the nigga in my
He
and
house.
ain't in my house. He
my
coming in
saying
the
is
house.
that
But
if
his
something's
expectation
missing,
is
Yeah.
coming to steal.
right, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
You see what I'm saying?
I'm gonna watch my stuff when
You-
I get around.
exactly.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you like this. My mama was one of those that if you put your hands on my stuff,
Yeah.
you gonna get caught up. You know what I'm saying? She
You
didn't
get
move
caught
her
up.
stuff.
Yeah.
But you got some grandparents that they gonna move everything just so the kids
I'm
can
not
play.
moving none.
So it's expectations for everybody.
You know, when an individual, okay, let's go away from individuals. Let's go back to grown men again.
Yeah.
Okay, grown men are only grown men to the level of what they know.
That's right.
If you don't know it, it don't mean you ain't a grown man. It just means that there's levels to this. Who said that there was levels to this earlier? There's levels to this thing. There's levels to this manhood thing.
And so I can't be here. My daddy might have been so important to me, and you might not have no daddy.
You understand where I'm
Our dad
coming
was
from?
be like this.
Or your daddy might not be active in your life.
Exactly.
Your daddy might have been in and out.
We can't assume every level is the same.
We cannot.
That's the problem that a lot of people do.
So, but with manhood, when we bow our chest out and when we start talking about man issues, I'm a man, you a man based on your foundational standards. What you will and won't do, what you have and have not done, what you believe in. We all don't believe the same. For every believer that believes, I guarantee you we believe something different, but we believe. And how we get there is like this right here. We come together and we have these communication sessions where we challenge one another and we listen to one another and we accept what one another has to say. So, Mike, I hope that helped. Is everybody good with that? Y'all ready to move on to the next one? All right, so here's the next one, and I think everybody's gonna be able to say something with this one. We had a young mother. She didn't give her age, but she said that she's a single mom with two teenage boys, 13 and 15. They won't go with her to church. They disrespecting her, and they don't have no real male influences. She says she feels like she's losing them to the streets, and what can she do? Well, I don't even need this for that. I'm gonna be real because I know somebody's gonna get to it. Number one, the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you, Kim, I'm not blaming you for your situation. You know, I'm recognizing what your situation is, and I'm gonna meet you inside your situation. You know, you got a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old who are hopefully gonna be men, and they don't have any influences that you say are real influences, which leads me to believe that they could be influenced by something else. You say you feel like you're losing them to the streets. Well, that means that they've been introduced to the streets or the culture. It means they've been introduced to some things. It means that there could be marijuana, there could be alcohol, there could be illicit sex, there could be skipping school. You already said that they're disrespectful and they won't go with you to church. So this is what I will say, and then I'm gonna open it up for the rest of the brothers before I will say this. That's why it's important for men to be involved. That's why it's important for men to take responsibility. I feel for you and the 13 and the 15-year-old because they are on their roads to being young men. And it's going to be hard enough, you being a single mother, but trying to raise them without male influence. So, one of the things that I would suggest to you is that, you continue to try to coax them and get them to go to church, but we got to set the tone for respect first off. And we got to understand that they can't be disrespecting their mother. So I'm gonna open up the floor for comments. I thank you, but we're gonna let everybody take a crack at this because I'm sure that everybody can relate to this on some level. So who wants to go first?
The biggest question is, where's the daddy?
Ah,
That's the biggest
Cause
question.
a woman can't raise a man, she can raise a good woman.
That's the big, where's the daddy?
see, so wait a minute now. So watch
They
this.
left out.
Watch this. Watch this. You know, she gave us enough information. I got questions. Are both of the babies by the same man?
Exactly.
Or daddy.
Or could it be two different men? I mean, there's so many different.
Is she married to the government?
There's so many. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to penalize her for her situation. So there's so many questions, Tori. I mean, you know, are both of them by the same man? Are they different daddies? How'd you get in that situation? All of these things play a role. But her thing is disrespecting her, not listening. She trying to do the best she can with what she got. Hey man, it's rough out there.
How did that happen?
Women out here complaining
How
about
did
the
that
stuff
happen?
out here, but they the one raising the monsters.
Well, let me ask you this, man. See, my thing is this. Like, my mama was a whole nother breed.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
Craig, you
I
right.
mean, you know, dad stepped in and mama couldn't handle it. But 9 times out of 10, I remember whoopings from my mama. She
Yeah,
would
me too.
straight me, cause she wouldn't take it to daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Cause you know, daddy might give me a pass. You know what I'm saying? Because he sympathized with you. But mamas, real mamas from back in the day, and I'm not saying there's not none here now, but man, I'm talking about your mama will put that belt on you for your daddy.
Yeah.
That's
They
what
can't do that.
You said for your daddy, that's because that was two.
No,
Right,
I said
right.
before
Two.
your, I said
Yeah.
before your daddy.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but that's two. You had your mama and your daddy.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I grew up without a father, but I always had father figures in my life. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. My mama put some of the worst beatings on me in my life, and I was like, good gracious.
Greg, you was bad, Greg.
We always bad.
But hold on now. Watch
Greg,
this.
you was bad.
But watch this though. But watch this now. Now listen. I want y'all to make it make sense. I want y'all to listen to what's being said. 13 and 15. Now we know they're probably bigger than she is.
Yes.
And we know the culture. You know these kids killing their mamas for taking their telephone.
Oh
Yeah.
They killing their mama. They killing their mamas for cutting off the internet. So we gotta be careful when we talking to someone who say this is what I'm facing, and we gotta be understanding what the reality of this. There's no God in the house.
Right.
There's no standard. Even though she's trying to do the best she can, she says they won't go with her church, which means she's going to church, which means she's trying to do something different, and they not listening. She need help. How we gonna help her?
But hold on, dude. You gotta ask yourself.
That is
I
true.
think it starts like the thing is the sad thing about the situation is that it used to be you was raised in your home. Now you got community raising you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they got so much influence. They liable to, to listen to somebody else. I mean, prime example, right? I think I don't think I'm crazy for this, man. You might have to cut the camera off.
No, we're not gonna cut the camera off because you're gonna be wise.
Yeah,
and
like,
you're gonna
yo,
do
listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I ain't gonna say nothing crazy.
I know.
But it's just the thing, man. Well, it was just like a lot of people don't know this about me, man. But I love black and white TV,
Okay.
right? So my whole thing is I love Andy Griffin. I'm gonna go and say it. Y'all might have to cut this part.
Gomer Pyle.
Yeah,
I like all that stuff too.
Yeah.
Gilligan's
So what?
Island.
I
Gilligan's
think
Island,
it's like
Golden Hero.
It's
Yes,
like,
sir.
it's like this thing,
Link
man,
the
where you
Weaver.
got to like if you gonna sit here and be a parent, you got to be a parent. Now it's very rare. It's very rare that if you got both of your parents, they gonna disagree on your discipline. You know what I'm saying? So you can't both parents got to be on the same accord. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have one to take charge.
Okay.
But I think a lot of times with guys, because of the things that we thought we saw and we thought we went through, when your daddy was being hard on you, you say to yourself, I'm not gonna be hard on my son like that. So the mama ends up having to play the mom and the dad. And so like
Which is a perverted order.
yes it is.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if your mama is at home with that kid, right? And then your daddy been at work all day. A lot of times she don't want to burden him with that. So she gonna have to take on both roles while he's not in the house. So at the end of the day, man, it's like back in the day, Man, my worst whoopings was coming from my mama.
But let's not go back in the day. Let's stay right here in
You know, I'm just
today.
saying we've evolved.
Okay,
The
but
evolution.
have we? But have we?
No. My bad. I ain't mean evolve.
But have we?
What happened was we moved on, and with culture,
Right.
that like the men have gotten weaker, and the woman has gotten stronger.
Okay, so now look. Okay, so now watch this. This woman said she got a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Disrespecting me. So they ain't got no respect for women.
None.
Let culture teaches them that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But you know, sometimes women do it to themselves.
Well, we're not gonna blame
No, wait,
women.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
talk about what we're gonna talk about. What we
Right.
hold on.
Yeah,
Hold
scary.
hold
But
on.
they said he said it takes a village to raise a child. But what if the village is retarded?
But watch this. But watch this. Now hold on.
Huh?
Hold on. Let him finish. Let him finish.
What I was saying was sometimes women do that to themselves because they tell their kids, well, you ain't got to listen to that person.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
can't tell you
Yeah.
nothing. If somebody bother you, call me and I'm going to handle it.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
So that means can't nobody tell her kids nothing.
Mhm.
That tells a kid that I don't have to listen to nobody.
No, she's raising them effect off their emotions.
Yeah, but still,
They
a kid
emotional.
still learning that I don't have to listen to him or nobody else. Cause you know what I'm saying. I don't have to.
Okay, now watch
But
this. Now is
I'm-
the him?
I'm gonna say this. Let me
Go
get
ahead,
back to
go
this
ahead,
right
go
here.
ahead.
He said, I know.
Like G said, back in the days, it was certain things for reasons.
Mhm.
My mama tell you real quick, if you come to my house, I get you.
Mhm.
And if I can't
that's
get you,
good stuff.
don't send that little joker to my house.
Right.
So that's the expectation that we're gonna bring that back to that.
Okay.
Expectations is I don't want you in my house if I can't discipline.
Okay.
Because you can't cut up in my house.
Okay. So now here we go. Now here we go. Now watch this.
Okay.
How many single mothers can do that?
None.
No.
Not one.
None.
Not a
Why
one.
not?
Because there's no men there. There's no foundation there.
My daddy wasn't there, but my mama still stood on it.
Okay, that's not what
But
we're
I
talking
feel
about.
what you're saying,
We're talking about men setting order. We're talking about men being in the position that they're supposed to be in. We're not talking about what people have to deal with and do because that's what they have to deal with and do. There's a difference. There's an order. There's an order that's been established that we're supposed to follow. And when we don't follow that order, we bring it upon ourselves. There are some choices that we make are bad choices.
But hold on, Pastor.
But it's most
See,
single women out here.
But hold on, Pastor.
That's they made that choice.
It's
No
not-
man
it's
just
not
rape
like
them.
it's not
They allow the
happening
man
right
to
now.
bust up in
But
them
see, this is
and have a
going on right
baby.
now.
Hey, that's their fault.
This is the bad
You
part
can
about
stop a
it.
man from having sex.
As we go through life,
Mhm.
you know, as we go through life and we get married and have kids, right? 9 times out of 10, the man is out here working harder than the woman. So she spends more time with this child, right?
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, a woman, it shouldn't even get back to the dad
Mhm.
or the father because she's supposed to handle that, and then because she know if she let you handle it, oh, it's gonna be a situation.
It's supposed to be.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's supposed to be.
That's what I'm saying.
All I
But see,
have to
hold
do
on,
is
but hold
look.
on. But see, this
I
is what I'm
look.
saying.
That's it.
Nowadays, that's how women think. Well, I ain't gonna bother him because he all working all the time. I ain't gonna put no more stress on him.
Okay, so but hold on.
Women don't think
Okay,
like
let-
that
let-
nowadays.
let- let's stay what we.
strong.
Let's not talk about women. We're not talking about women. We're talking about Kim.
Yeah.
So, man,
I thought Kim was
you
right.
Okay, she is a woman, but we're talking about her situation. But we're going all of these different situations. Go ahead, Robert.
I was trying to I wanted to drag us back.
I know, right?
To the original.
Yeah.
She's where she's at now, regardless of what happened.
What happened? It don't matter.
So we can't back up and fix nothing.
That's right.
It's unfixable.
We just said that.
The kids won't go with her to church.
Right.
Now she wants to know, okay, what are some solutions? It ain't gonna be what I'm getting ready to say may not be the perfect solution, but it's the start of a conversation.
Correct.
All right. Kids, and I raised 3.
I got 7.
All right. So
He said, I got seven.
kids are great detectors of hypocrisy.
Say that again.
Kids are great detectors of hypocrisy. So to me, if I'm looking at this situation, okay, I'm gonna have this conversation with the 15 and the 17 or the 13 and 17.
13, 15.
Okay, what's the problem that you don't want to go to church?
Right.
That's the first thing you have to clarify. And then they're gonna have a thought. They're
Yeah.
gonna say, maybe I don't believe in God, or maybe I
Right.
don't believe in your God, or whatever. But you can have that conversation. Okay, you don't believe in my God. What do you use?
Mm-hmm.
Right? The other thing with kids that are that age, if there are any inconsistencies, that's an out for a child.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's good stuff.
If you're telling them to do something, and here's the foundation for that. I'm giving you Bible breadcrumbs as we go. And Matthew chapter 23. Christ told them, he says, listen to what the Pharisees and the Sadducees say, but don't do what they do.
That's right.
Because they're hypocrites.
That's right.
Because they say one thing and
And
do
do
something
another.
else. Dealing with this situation here, mom has to make sure that mom is being consistent. Why is mom going to church? Tell them why you're going to church. Tell them what you see in the church. And those kids are going to be very vocal in telling you what they see in the church. Well, I saw whatever happened with this person, so I don't think they can lead me anywhere.
Right.
But the disrespect part, once she look in that looking glass, James chapter 1 and verse 21,
Behold.
once you look in there and she see who she is,
Yeah.
she has to decide. And at this stage of the game, it's a hard way to turn around. It's just like trying to get a U-turn on 40 out there. It's hard. You got to wait for the next exit.
Yeah.
So she may have to wait for the next situation to say, okay, I know y'all seen me do this, but maybe we can correct this. Let's correct this. Because these kids are pretty much grown. Let's correct this together.
Wait a minute now. Wait, now they ain't grown. Then why you just put it on her?
Now, I'm
She's the
saying,
only one there.
Where's the
Yeah.
father at?
No, but see,
where's the
yeah,
father at?
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
first
yeah.
thing. Where's the father at?
Secondly, I want to know why is it, maybe it's just me, but I don't think kids 13 and 15 got too much of a choice.
They mentally retarded. a
No,
little bit.
but
They
it
ain't
depends on how they was raised. Cause nowadays,
I mean, but
they do,
it's,
they get,
it's on you to raise them
no,
with your
what I'm
religion,
saying
though,
is,
right?
this is what I'm saying. It's like, what age now, what's the youngest you think kids are now getting, PlayStations and Nintendo Xboxes?
9 years old.
Yeah,
7.
dude, when y'all get y'all first video game?
When they can
Hey,
afford
look,
it.
Atari.
I got an Atari and a Nintendo.
Yeah, at what age?
Like maybe 12, 10.
See, I mean, you know, but what I'm saying is nowadays, it's like I think they put distractions in front of their kids so they don't have to deal with them.
Okay. Okay. Well, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Okay. So we know that to be true.
Right.
We know that some parents do that as a coping mechanism. But what about the parents who are doing the best that they can and still can't seem to get no leverage? You know what I watched, and I will share this. I watched my mother try to raise us to the best of her ability while my daddy was doing my daddy.
Right.
I'm just gonna say it like
I
that.
get it. I get that.
Okay. And my grandparents set the foundation and the tone.
Understandable.
Okay, so we didn't have a choice but to go to church. Wasn't no choice, Eric.
You don't have
You
a choice.
get up
No.
and you went to church.
Sunday
But,
morning.
but look when that was. That's not what this is.
But see, go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's not what this is, because this culture is so removed from doing anything that's right to allowing kids to be comfortable doing what they want to please them.
So I think this is why I tell people this, and this might sound right. How I explain it to it, you are Adolf Hitler and they the Jews. And they don't get it wrong, that's bad, that's how I explain it, that is the way I tell people. You gotta make them do whatever the hell you want them to do, and there's no question
There's
about it.
supposed to be no question.
None.
'Cause
So
anything
if you have to
outside that,
compromise with your child, then you gonna give them space to
to negotiate.
Exactly. There's no
Yeah, they
negotiation.
negotiate.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all a question.
None.
Let me ask y'all a question, okay? So now watch. He said hypocrites. We won't talk about the hypocrites. Watch this. Have we negotiated with sin?
Yes.
And our kids seen us negotiate with sin?
Yes.
So how can we tell our kids what they can and can't negotiate with if they see us actively negotiating with sin? If they,
But maybe they don't understand. They might not understand what we
Hold
do.
on.
Hold on.
See this?
Watch
Wait,
this, watch this, watch this, watch
Uh-huh.
this. Negotiation is negotiation. If my child watches me drink and drug and bring different women in all of the time, they gonna think it's
So
okay.
you think that's what she doing?
Hold up, I didn't say. What I'm saying is, if they see it,
Okay.
we're talking about the standard and the foundation.
Okay.
We're talking about the reason why people do what they do or in the condition that they're in. Us, each one of us, was was in a place one time before where we couldn't tell nobody nothing based on what we was doing. And people looking at us and looking at what we was doing. We not there no more. So we are in a better, everybody here is in a better position than they ever been in before. Businessman, co-owner, family man, able to stand up and pay his way. But we had to get there. She just saying, how can I get them there at 13 and 15?
I think honestly, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead. Nah,
Go ahead.
my whole thing is, at some point, you gotta guide these kids in the right direction. And you can't keep giving them, and it ain't about going in the past, but to me, what worked was back then, what was shown. And to me, what worked was when you sit at this table and eat what's put there. You know what I'm saying? So, if you gonna ask, well, why they don't come to church with me? Because you don't make them. And then when they cut up, or if they ain't getting the grades they supposed to be getting, or if they talking back to you, here go Christmas, they got everything they wanted. You reward bad behavior.
So watch this now. I love what he's saying. Okay, so let me ask him. Kim, this is for you. All this is for you.
Yes, sir.
How, Eric, can she make a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old who's bigger than she is? I can assume and imagine. Because they don't listen to her. They disrespect her. How can she make them do something that she said that they ain't
They
doing?
stay in her house.
I mean,
They stay in her house, right?
I would
They stay in
imagine.
her house, right?
I would imagine.
You a
Where
grown
daddy
man,
at?
you
Where's
gonna
somebody
ask
at the
me,
church?
how do I make a
Somebody,
13-year-old and
there
a
gotta be a male
15-year-old
somewhere.
do what I need them to do?
Kim, call me.
You
I'll get
asking
him out the
me.
house.
You asking me,
No,
right?
no,
Call
I'm
me,
asking.
Kim.
I'm asking from the perspective of a single mother.
Of a single mother.
I'm not asking in the perspective of us men,
Why?
because we gonna handle it a little different.
Why is she saying?
But
Why?
see,
Where
but
the daddy at?
wait a minute.
Let me ask you this.
Let me-
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Mike.
let me finish. Go ahead,
Let me
man.
ask
Go
you a
ahead.
question.
It's over
Let me
to
ask
the
you a question. You said a single mother, right?
Yeah.
You have any sisters?
Do I have any sisters?
Sisters.
Yeah, I got several sisters.
Well, let me ask you this.
Sure.
You was raised in a house that was disciplined, right?
Yeah,
And so was she.
of course.
So, in other words,
So was I.
she gonna have to learn how to be disciplined.
Get in that ass.
You got a
Yeah.
feeling that what was still in you.
Get in
Yeah,
that
if she
ass.
have to take a
That's
frying
what I'm
pan and bust somebody upside their head,
They don't
have to do it.
respect her though.
They don't
Exactly. That's
You
what
know
I'm
why?
saying.
How do you make them respect her?
Yeah, what you say, go ahead, Howard.
thing is the respect, y'all.
You remember that question I
Like
asked you?
15-year-olds are grown,
What's that?
almost a grown man's size.
Right.
Like, and if he's willing to go to juvenile detention,
Did he need to go to juvenile
Yeah.
detention?
that's
You
what I'm
can't-
saying.
because you know what they would no more.
Anything with him, once they get a hold to him, he'll come back, he'll respect the
Hey,
end.
fella.
Yeah.
Hey, fella. We're
But-
talking to Kim.
Okay, I'm sorry, Kim.
We're talking to Kim.
Kim, I'm sorry,
She
Kim.
lied,
But
bitch.
what?
No, but she wasn't.
We apologize,
I'm
Kim.
a-
I'm gonna say this. I asked Greg something one day. We was in here talking. I asked him, I was like, so do you teach your kids to fear you or respect you? Cause in my eyes, if you fear me, cause my mama told me,
Respect.
hot damn, I brought you in this world, I take you out.
Yeah.
I was scared. You know what I'm saying? So they were saying, no, what is it? Fear or respect?
It should be respect.
Should be
It
both.
should be respect.
That should be
both.
both.
My
It
mom
should
did-
be both.
My-
It's
it
both,
should be
cause I
both.
feared and
But I ain't
respect
gonna
what I
lie,
found.
when your mom pulled that belt out to whoop your ass, was you respecting her at that moment?
Okay, but
No, hey,
but
by
look,
the
y'all.
time, by the time
look,
you
y'all.
don't went in there and play
Hey.
and cried in front of the covers and
Hey.
got up the next morning,
Hey,
you be like, yeah, mama.
but look, y'all. Look.
It's how they raise too.
Okay.
It's
So
how you raise.
So, but look, the culture raising these kids,
How you raise, yeah.
the world raising these kids,
Music.
music, video.
Video.
Mama said. Then what Mama said? They disrespecting her. So wait a minute now. They don't respect women. They don't just not respect Mama. They don't respect women. So they got a problem respecting her. Where's the standard? She's saying, this is what Kim is saying. Kim's saying, hey brothers, all y'all brothers. Now we sitting here, we talking, I ain't heard nobody say what I'm getting ready to say. Where their uncles at? Where their first cousins at? That's men.
Grandpa.
Where their granddaddy at?
You know what they at?
Well, wait a minute.
But she could have been raised by a single mom too.
Could have been. But wait a minute. I'm talking Kim now. Where these men at? We have got to get these boys.
The pastor.
But what if the men come around and she say you can't do that? These ain't your kids.
That's what she's saying. She's asking us.
I'm just saying.
She asking us.
Kim's at a point now where she needs help. So no
she-
matter what's gonna happen,
she asking
she's
us.
gonna
That's
agree
what I'm
with it.
saying,
Right,
though.
right.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
what if you didn't try to help her? She like, man, you can't say that. You can't do that to my
Well,
kid.
That wasn't the question though. Go ahead, Rob.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
okay.
Put a pan to the head.
You guys gotta remember, you're in 2026.
Come on.
Yes, Lord. Yes,
And,
Lord.
and a lot of things that you're saying
Was-
would have worked
Back
back
then.
in 1960.
It ain't gonna work.
It did work,
But,
didn't it?
but it did work.
It
But I'm
did
saying,
work.
this is where we are now.
Right.
And
Okay.
think about this for a second.
They switched it up.
Put the kid out. All right. Soon as you put that kid out and that kid has nowhere to go, now you're dealing with child protective service.
That's right.
Now you're an unfit parent.
That's right.
Because that kid has nowhere to go. Now, if anybody pick him up on the street, the cop pick him up for just in passing and say, "Why you not at home? My mom kicked me out." He gonna take him right downtown. Protective service gonna get an order, gonna come to your house, and they may place that kid somewhere else, but you're gonna get a charge.
That's right.
But you know what though? If you in the house with me, and I gotta raise your little ass, and I can't tell you to get up and go to church, then maybe you need to let them raise you.
I
Now-
mean, that's a man.
That's a man.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The woman is supposed to make the home civil.
That's right.
See, when I come at my daughters like that, my wife was there to protect them
She got.
because I came hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because
Because
that's what
that's
we
just
supposed
where
to
I
do.
was at. But Kim ain't. She don't have all that right now.
Right.
What she
She got
needs,
two boys.
and that's what and that's why I
Right.
said this.
Right. That's what we gotta focus on.
Examine
Right.
the church
Well-
that you're going to.
Mhm.
And this is the quick. The uncles may be there. Her brothers may not. You know, nobody else may
It
not
all
be there.
matters what's in that house right then.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to give an answer here.
Yeah.
They won't go to church, find out why.
Why?
Why they don't want to. Now, can you make a rule? If you don't go to church, then X, Y, and Z rules are in place, but they already don't respect us, so there ain't gonna be any rules. They ain't not following any rules.
They don't care
That's
about
part
the
of
rules.
disrespect. I'm not doing what you tell me to. Now, here's the other part. She says she's afraid of losing them to the street.
Yeah.
The street's got rules too.
The street got rules too.
Everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go.
So either way it goes.
Street got rules
Yeah.
too. You gotta follow the rules.
But
Yeah.
here are the street rules. If they get in a situation where they're not following the rules, that may be in.
That
may
may
be the
life.
end. Mom don't have that kind of heart.
Right.
A mom shouldn't have that kind of heart anyway. There's plenty of mom that kill the kids. But that's not what we advocate. What we're saying here, mom, gotta look in the mirror. Okay, we got all the way up 13 years. Where was the failure at?
Right.
And you're not gonna be able to go back and fix the failures, but
Can't fix that.
you can start
Right now.
right where you are.
Right here.
And that's beginning with the conversation with the two young men.
Yeah.
Because all this, I can put you out the house. And being a man, you have that ability. You can go
Yeah.
toss them out the house, lock the door, police come.
Dare you to come back.
You're
in
going
here.
back, you're going downtown, and you're gonna say, if I can't raise them, then you raise them. I mean, men say that. But Kim is a young woman. How she got there, we don't even know. But she's here now. So my thoughts to her would be, check your church.
Mm.
Your kids are seeing something in church that you're not seeing. You may see something there that's drawing you there, kids don't see it.
They don't see it that way.
The kids, and I'm not talking about negotiating, I'm talking about finding out where they are right now.
Yeah.
And so, when Kim has that conversation with her kids, you may not come to a conclusion right then, but you are coming to a place where we are having a conversation, and then you may can put some rules in place. If you're not following these guidelines that I'm setting in place, we're gonna have to think about something different, and that may even mean you living somewhere else.
Correct. So, that's gonna conclude this barbershop talk for this week. We want to thank everybody here. We want to thank everybody for the input. I hope you guys heard something that can be beneficial to you and help you. We're gonna continue the conversation a little bit. We're gonna go off the air now. We're gonna sit here and chop it up just a little bit more. But thank you all for tuning in. We hope to see you on next Sunday. International Styles and Cut in the Wixit Shopping Plaza here, Food Line Shopping Plaza. Come by here and see these gentlemen. Get your hair cut, trim, facial, whatever you want to need. You want to come by, just come by here. Thank you. Until next time. We out.
Hey Kim, if you wanna bring your boys in here to see some real men and you need some help, this is where you need to go. This is Men Central,
and we got you.
Hey.
We will show you what they need to have in their life.
Hey, and don't forget, bring a couple pizzas and some chicken wings.
Oh, God.
See, here we go. Here we go.
Hey, fellas.